everybody. Welcome to Dump and Dish, episode number 7. I'm Coach Switz here with my co-host, Coach Zane. How are we doing today, Coach Zane?
Fantastic. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. It's good to be back home, that's for sure. It was nice.
Good refreshing vacation, though.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah,
Can't
Southern
complain.
California, like 60s. And then we even got 85 when we were out in the mountains the one day, like playing some golf.
Yeah, playing in the valley.
Yeah, that valley got a little warm by the end of the golf round. But all in all, beautiful weather, especially for the time.
Great food.
We had a great story of playing Torrey Pines in the fog.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, couldn't see a ball, 20 yards off the tee, but
made it interesting.
Yeah, and only lost one ball, which is amazing, but
real amazing.
Yeah, but awesome time, good relaxing fun. Great.
What'd you guys do for Memorial Day, Coach?
Ooh, Memorial Day.
The weekend. Not
yeah,
just that day.
It wasn't swimming weather here. We brought that
not.
Southern California weather back, 60s, but it was spit and rain a little bit on Saturday. Did a lot of bike riding. Sunday we had a block party over at my mom's place, so that was really cool.
Nice.
Yeah, we played a little golf there. They set up 18 holes around all the houses.
Cool.
With like little practice balls.
Yeah.
So it was a little par 3 course, but you had to hit.
How'd you shoot?
I shot a 55.
9 holes?
Winner,
That's nice.
No, 18 there. But I took a 7 on one hole because I hit the house, and then it came back and hit the house again before I could finally get it over.
How'd you miss the house? It's right there.
Yeah, like because I chose a 6 iron. You only get to choose one club, so I went 6 iron. A lot of people did 8 9s.
Yeah.
I went a little bit more for the distance because you had to carry some streets and stuff. But they've done it many years, and it's so much fun.
Nice. That sounds
and
like a good
lay it
time.
out. All the neighbors come out. Again, it's the little plastic golf balls. But yeah, 51 won it. That guy's won it now 2 years in a row. So I got to get him next year.
Oh, hometown.
Yeah.
Home course.
Yeah.
Now he probably set it up and he gets to practice it to make sure it's just right for him.
Yeah, but love the idea. I've never seen that before. They used hula hoops also, so you either had to hit a tree like below the branch in the trees.
Yep.
Neat. Branch off.
It's almost like a frisbee golf.
Yeah, exactly like that. Or it was a hula hoop on the ground.
Okay.
And so
that's my cup size. I like that.
Yeah, so
that's what I'm looking for.
It was a blast, and ended up staying over there the whole afternoon. And then yesterday we spent 8 hours at a park.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Which park?
Steiner, I think is the name of it. It's down by you.
Okay.
Yeah. So we started at Booter Park on the south side where they have a little playground. It was awesome for an hour or two, and then went down to that one that's down by Tapawingo Golf Course.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
And there's trails, and it connects into Minnehaha Park, like so we could walk the Merrimack
along the river.
Merrimack River.
Mm-hmm.
But the playground is awesome. And then there's like a wooded area where there's all this driftwood that's washed up over the floods and stuff. And then there's signs in the trees that say "Don't make teepees." And of course, there's like 3 teepees right back there. And so the kids
wouldn't even have thought about it if you didn't put the sign up.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So there were a couple. My girls were like, "Can we make a teepee?" I'm like, "Let's not make one, but if there's one already made. Like I don't have a problem. You messing around it, and
heck yeah.
So they had a blast. And again, 8 hours later, sand volleyball courts down there. It was awesome.
Sweet.
The driving range across the road was calling my name all day. It was kind of like a little bit painful watching everybody else.
Did you get over
practice.
there at all?
I didn't. No, we had too much fun and too rangy. It's spread out, so like the girls were running everywhere.
Man-on-man defense there.
Yeah, we had another family with us, and they just they played in 8 hours. I was amazed that like they weren't wanting to go home. It was like people left to go get food to come back.
Okay.
And kept their attention for 8 hours. So yeah.
No, to sell all your parents. That's a good park.
Yeah,
8 hours.
Yeah. So anyway, that was a lot of fun. How about you?
Well, I felt like the weather was not good enough to make a plan to do anything. Whether it was going to be sunny or cloudy, so I just cooked food all weekend. I did ribs. We did steaks. What else did we do? We did chicken. We had like a caprese salad that we built around with some bruschetta. It was very, very good. It's a good weekend all weekend. Kind of a lazy bum, though. What are you going to do?
Yeah, no, you got to have those weekends. You got to have that downtime. It was a vacation from the vacation.
That's it. I needed a vacation from the vacation.
Okay.
Perfect. All right, we're talking a little bit this week. We're getting ready for summer camps, Coach. Getting all the pucks ready to go, getting the jerseys done up. Miss Alyssa's crushing that. We'll see how she does. It's always test day Monday when everybody shows up, see how we do. That's always fun. And just dialing in the lesson plan for the week. First week we have is Central State's tryout for the big guys.
Yeah.
I like that. That's a pretty upbeat camp there. We keep everybody moving, getting through the basic skills, and then by the end of the week, we're grindy.
Yeah.
We're getting in the mix and getting the battles going and stretching it out a little bit.
Yeah, using drills also to push some of that endurance and getting them back into shape. It's like a
trinket them with cardio.
That's exactly right. Yeah, getting them back ready to go for the next week. A lot of them, had AAA tryouts or whatever, played spring teams for them, so they're in decent shape. But yeah, really pushing the pace in some of those drills. After working on some skills and figuring out little things that they need to work on that's going to help them in tryouts. And the focus is really getting them ready to hit the ice for tryouts and looking the best that they possibly can.
Yeah. No, it's one of my favorite camps. I always love the Central States tryout prep. It's good, it's fast, and the boys seem to like it, and girls. They seem to like it a lot.
Yeah.
So I'm always excited for this week. Let's get to it. Hockey talk for today. It's not our favorite thing to talk about, but happens to everybody.
Yeah.
Unless I guess you make it all the way to the pros forever. You know what I mean? But it's about getting cut. How do we get cut? As a parent, do I handle that for my kid? As for myself, how should my kid look for it? Do I not try out for things because I know I'm going to get cut? Let's start with how do we break the news that we got cut to our kid?
One, it depends really on the situation going in. There's, like you said, there's some times where you go in and it'd be really awesome if I made this team. But if I don't, I understand where I'm at. And, that's a goal for me. And it's probably at that point a stretch goal to make it. So if you make it, great. But if not, you're kind of expecting that news versus a kid who's maybe played on that team for a couple of years and then gets cut. So we'll start with the first one. First one's the easier one. Hey, it didn't work out. Let's keep pushing. Let's keep working through this. As a parent, keeping their spirits up. They will be upset, but also helping them cope through that, because that is a life skill. You're gonna not make a job. You're not gonna get accepted to a school. Like there's other things in life that are going to present themselves over the years that
got to work through.
This is a minor one and a good learning experience, especially on the stretch goal side. So I would say that one is significantly easier to work them through. Hey, we still got Central States tryouts coming up. That's what you played last year, or you played A1 or whatever it was. Like let's turn that page as fast as possible. We can talk about it. If we want to reach out and get any feedback from the coach, we talked about that a couple weeks ago. Now's the time to send that email. But then turn that page, get moving, focus on. Don't let that bring you down for multiple weeks or anything like that. Get ready, and because Central States tryouts happen 2 weeks later.
Does that approach change with the age of the kid? Because I see the young hockey club kids now, they're getting cut at 5.
Yeah.
So that can't be an easy. How you handling that? Because you got some young kids.
I wouldn't. The really, really young ones, I wouldn't put them in a situation where I know they're going to fail yet inside of hockey.
Okay.
The older ones, yes, and we would talk about stretch goals, but my 7-year-old has trouble thinking about what we're going to do next week.
Yeah.
Let alone let's really make a real stretch goal. And I'm not in that situation. My girls aren't at that level. But as they get older, I want them to have stretch goals. I want them to have stretch goals to go play AAA girls Blues here in St. Louis, or Elite if they're playing Tier 2. So those ones.
Can you hide it from a 5 and 6-year-old that this really isn't even a tryout? So it's just we're going out to play.
I don't think so, because their peers are going to tell them. At some point in time during that tryout, they've got a number on their back, and they're going to figure out what that number means, and that the coaches aren't interacting with them in the same way. They've got a notebook in front, they've been in enough test situations with school and things like that they understand that
something's changed.
This feel is different. The intensity of the moment is different. So no, I don't think hiding it from them. I think you can prep them and say, we're going to go out there, do our best, try your hardest. That's all I ask. I'm happy either way. And also, it's okay to fail too. It's okay. Yeah. Our life isn't dependent on you making this team and making sure that they're, they try their hardest. We want you to try your hardest, but at the end of the day, if you don't make it, it's not going to change what we eat for dinner tonight, and it's not going to affect your life in the long run. Now, the harder one is the kid who's been on that team for 2 or 3 years. That's his peer group or her peer group. That's who they're closest with.
Not only not making a team, they just lost all their friends too.
That's a tough one. And that takes a little bit more massaging. That's the parents. You got to show love and compassion to that kid, and you got to work him through almost the stages of grief, like if you lost a loved one type of thing. They're losing their friends, and they don't understand, and you got to walk them through. We're going to make new friends. You're going to be on a new team. There's going to be a new coach. We'll figure that out together. I'm here for you. I'm in your court. Don't too many parents I've seen where a kid gets cut, and not that they're mad at their kid, but like they're just as upset. And you got to put the kid first. You got to put their feelings first, and you got to make sure you're on the same team with them.
Yeah.
I've seen that where a parent now is like, oh, I can't believe you got cut, Jimmy. Like, what's going on? Blah 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 blah. You just put yourself on the other team. So
you're part of the cutter.
He just got cut by the coach. He got cut by his peers. He was told he wasn't as good as everybody else, and now you're telling him that too. So what safe place does he have to turn to talk through his feelings or her feelings? So that's my I always tell the parents, if your kid gets cut and it was in that situation, you got to be on their team. You got to walk them through it. Now, I'm not making excuses for my kid. All right, if you got cut, like there was something that went wrong, I'm going to reach out. We'll figure that out in time. But at the end of the day, the love, the compassion, being a parent first, and making sure that emotionally they're working themselves through, again, all those stages of grief, because they're going to go through them.
Yeah.
And then, looking to the future. Where are we going next? Okay, cool. This didn't work. Just like if you didn't get a job, like you're not just going to stop. Like, okay,
shut it down.
Yeah. Cool. Or you got fired or whatever from a job. Like, now let's pivot. Where are we going to go next? And help them create that plan to the light at the end of the tunnel, instead of focusing on being in the tunnel.
Now, so I always get this question a lot. Should I do it? I don't think he's going to make it. Should I try out? How do you handle that? Like, because I'm a proponent of you got to try out. Like, getting cut's part of life, and the sooner you learn how to do it, the better you'll be at it, later on down the road.
Yeah, as long as the player's not going to just be embarrassed on the ice, and we see every year there's the lower B player that signs up for a AAA trial. It's like, okay, you to make this team, you need to skip over like 1,000 kids in St. Louis.
There's a big gap there.
Yeah. But no, if you're close and you have an opportunity, it's a good lesson for kids. You don't get things unless you ask for them in life.
Yeah.
If I don't say, hey, man, I really think I could do this, or I could have this job, or I could have this position if I'm already inside the company. Like, you got to learn how to ask for things if you want things. The worst they can say is no. And I promise you're cut if you don't try out.
That's for sure. Definitely 100% cut rate.
You're not on radars. You're not getting talked about. Like, at least if you get cut, the evaluators were talking about you for 30 seconds, a minute, whatever.
And add that up over a couple of years. You kind of get to know them. They get to know you. They see if you're getting better and moving in the right direction. You know, they might take that flyer a little later on down the road.
Yeah. And you don't want to wait till you're 15 to start doing that, or 16, because then, they only have a couple more years with you.
Yeah.
Start doing that earlier. It's okay to get cut. If you're in that ballpark and you can be out there and compete at that level, then I think that you should try out for any of those teams.
Nice. So big thing is have a plan. Mom and dad, be on their team.
Yes.
Yeah. Support. But also have some honest conversations once we're through the initial shock of not making it.
Yeah, and I've seen parents where they just like, oh, the coach just hated my kid or this or that. Would that ever happen? Sure. But at the end of the day, we've also got to look inside of ourselves and figure out what can we do to get better? How do we, maybe it wasn't a skill thing. Maybe I was just a bad teammate. And you got to learn as a human being also.
I messed up 6 drills.
Or I messed up the locker room.
Yeah.
That coach is tired of chasing your kid, trying to find him 20 minutes before a hockey game because he's running around the rink still. So you might have to even look past what happened on the ice. But at the end of the day, work them through that, find that light at the end of the tunnel and face them towards that and help motivate them towards that light of whatever that is, Central States, A1, A2, wherever that goes.
Sweet. Well, I think that'll help. I think we get that question a lot, or a couple versions of that question. So hopefully that helps you guys out there a little bit. Yeah. That's really all I had for today. Coach Zane, you got anything else?
No, that's it. Happy Memorial Day, everybody. Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
If you're in the armed forces. So thank you very much for your time and your service there. And we'll catch you next week.
Dump and Dish, episode 7 in the books. See you later.